welcome to Flamecast. This is Todd Platts.
And this is Travis Buckmeyer.
It's Travis!
What? Where? Where'd he go?
I think it's a ghost myself. I don't know.
I always promised that I would come haunt you. You are on my list.
Awesome! Yeah, it's kind of weird. We have you and then Wes disappears.
Well, sometimes that's just
Can
the way
they
it
be
works,
one
Todd.
and the same?
Are you saying there's only one, but you can't have both? Is that what you're saying? Because maybe there's an alter ego going on there? What?
I said nothing.
All right.
Well, anyways, yeah, we got some crap to talk about, so let's just jump right into it.
Yeah. I mean, considering you make a list this big, I'm just saying.
Oh, it goes quick. It goes quick.
All right, you're getting one-word responses. Go.
No, man. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of crap has happened since last time I had a podcast, and even more crap since you've been on, because it's been a while. You've been a busy guy.
Yep.
Well, one of the things that happened, at least on my end, what was it, about 2 weeks ago, we had Pine Island Cheese Fest. And this is the first year they tried this, but they had a Pine Island Film Festival. So I'm like...
And for anybody who doesn't know, Pine Island is in Minnesota.
That's
near
right.
Rochester.
That's right. And I'm like, hey, we got some movies. So I went and submitted both Connect More and Luke and Leia. I would have done like the longer version of Luke and Leia and included Yoda's Treasure, but there was a 5-minute cap on movie length. So, yeah, I had a couple of options there. So I did the condensed version of Luke and Leia and Connect More. And so, okay, so I go there, and I'm basically there on my own team. And yeah, that's one of the suggestions I'm making for next year to myself is stack the audience.
Okay.
Because, yeah, for the most part, it was people and their families voting for their own stuff.
Okay.
So I'm like, since I have no one here, yeah, that didn't really work all that well.
Well, then next time I suggest bribing one of your children and their friends with pizza. Get as many as you can and dominate.
Yeah. For some reason or another, everyone is gone. I know Sean and Rachel and Wade and his family. They were all at graduation over in the Fairmont area. So, yeah, they were gone. Shelby, I can't remember what she was doing. I think I asked her and
she ditched you, didn't she?
She ditched me. As did Savannah. She didn't go either, so... Yeah, I'm going to have to use some enticing next time.
Yes.
But, okay, they broke it up into 3 age groups. They had like a 12 and under, which they had like, what, 8 films maybe? 7, 8 films? And all but one of them in that age group were from one kid.
Oh, wow.
So, needless to say, I guess he won for his age group.
When you can, actually just, flood and dominate that way, you've got that going for you, too.
Yeah, I guess. But then it also splits your vote if you have, because it was a voting system. So, if the one person other than him would have had something a little more decent. I mean, it was pretty good, but yeah, I think the other kid had more friends or something. But yeah, and then the next group, that was 13 to 17, 18. And then there was 19 and above. which of course I fit into.
Why, yes.
So it was me against like 7 other films, and
And how did Todd do?
I got my 1 vote.
All right.
Which I'm like, okay, the first one they showed was it was like it might have made sense to me if I would have smoked a joint first.
Okay.
It was just so bizarre. I'm like, and then you could see like real time voting when people were voting at the end, and it was between that one and another one. Well, let's see. There's like 3 of them that were kind of battling it out, and I'm like, people are actually voting for that one. It's got to be family.
Yeah, or a bunch of stoners. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it is Pine Island. I'm not putting it past anybody.
So yeah, it didn't do so well. I was kind of bummed out, but on the other hand, oh, and then they only showed one of my 2 films.
Oh.
They only showed Connect More, which this is item number 2 for next year is more appropriate content, because there were people there that just didn't get it.
Okay.
They didn't get the whole Star Wars thing. I mean,
Yeah.
the punchline at the end, it was like everyone's kind of like, I barely got any emotion out of people, so I'm like, oh, okay, now we're gonna change something for next
Again,
year.
I'll just point out, Pine Island. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, but just saying, you've also learned, you understand what's going on. Next year, you can be more prepared, have something a little more, audience driven for that audience,
Yeah.
and then you can dominate.
Well, I think the Luke and Leia would have gone well if they had used it, but supposedly it was not family friendly enough.
Yeah.
So
You got to be pretty soft for that crowd to think.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad,
Don't matter.
but yeah, I guess it didn't matter. So
It was bad enough, Todd. It was naughty.
yeah, whatever. But anyways, yeah, other stuff that's been going on. I had gone to a Comic-Con in, gosh, when was that now? Well, it was
In the spring.
it was still in spring somewhere. I think it was what, middle of May, first week in May, somewhere in there.
Where was it actually held at?
Actually, at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds in the grandstand.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of room in there. And on the ground level, I think they did have panels and stuff on the second level, but no, we never got up there. It was myself and Corey that went. And one of my main objectives was to kind of do some pricing, because this same group is having another convention in the fall, and if you want to have a booth at this Comic-Con, it's free. It's just a matter of being picked as one of the groups to have a booth.
Okay.
So I plan on having a booth at the next one, and selling some of my photos from figures in action.
Okay.
Maybe bringing some Flaming Death merchandise too, but
there you go. We need more of that.
Yeah. So
again, folks, please, if you get a piece of Flaming Death merchandise, do not wear it if you're boarding an airplane. Thank you.
Oh, that was like, what was it? I was I think I had sold something on eBay. This is a while back, and I was shipping it off, and okay, on eBay it's Flaming Death Productions as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was using the return address of Flaming Death Productions, and then my address, and I brought it to the post office to get postage, and they're like, "Is this safe to send?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, there's nothing actually flammable in there. It's just the name of the place." So. Oh, okay. But I had to laugh. I'm like, I guess I never thought of that.
You should have like shook it real hard and said, "Yeah, this one's good."
Yeah. Pick it up and watch them duck undercover.
Yeah. Then we can see you on film when the TV crew comes as you're getting hauled out after it's done.
Yeah. But anyways, other than that, gosh, what did I pick up? Um, I didn't get too many comics this time, although I did complete my whole collection of mid 1980s Doctor Who Marvel comics.
Oh wow.
So I have the whole run now. So I feel good about that.
Oh, excellent.
And yeah, not too much else, but and then I think I mentioned him before, Cedric Honstad. Saw him at the last convention. Um, that was last fall. Who is actually an acquaintance of mine, but he's done um, artwork for Hasbro, for General Mills, like having his art like on cereal boxes and
Oh
stuff
wow.
like that. And yeah, he made it big. I met him in my senior year of high school, and yeah, we kind of lost touch there for a while. But then when I saw him at the Comic Con last fall, I'm like, "Hey, I know this guy. He's got a booth." So we've kind of touched base there a little bit more. But yeah. And speaking of conventions,
What?
there's some big one that's coming out next year.
You mean San Diego Comic Con?
No.
No. You must be talking about Star Wars Celebration Chicago.
That's right. April 11th through 15th of next year. And if you don't have your tickets already, you
You're
are
screwed. You are so
SOL.
screwed. Well, no,
Uh,
I mean you can still come. I believe Friday was still open, Sunday was still open, and obviously Monday is open.
yeah. And Thursday.
Yeah, I'm not coming
Thursday as well.
Thursday.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna drive out, like starting at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Saturday, or not Saturday, Thursday morning, and then I'll be there at about noon. Just go straight there. And, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll be there each day. Monday is kind of an optional day for me.
Yeah, I mean it really
I
depends on what they actually gonna offer for Monday, because that's, I think that's the first time I've ever seen them do that.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first time they've done 5 days, isn't it?
Yeah, well, not only 5 days, but actually rolling it over so that Monday's the last day, which
Yeah.
is a little strange, but okay.
Yeah. But yeah, VIP tickets sold out in a minute,
Yep.
which is just insane. Because those things were like 800 something dollars.
$800 a ticket, and yeah, they were sold out within the first few minutes of the tickets going on.
Yeah, I'd seen some postings where people said they had gotten in line and within a minute they were gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just I
It
think there were
happens.
they were a limited amount.
Correct. They're a limited amount, and they do it every celebration. So I'm not sure, like last time, if it was 20 or 30, whatever it was. I mean, it is a very limited amount, and it's a mad rush to get them if you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'd rather save $600 and wait in line
Yeah, I mean, it
for
all
some of the
depends on
stuff.
what your purpose is. If you're intent on getting into, you know, every presentation, and you want to get in there first, you're getting in there first. You get like so many, move to the front for either autographs or pictures, whatever it is. I think probably autograph lines mostly. You get like six, you know, times where you can do that with these things. For folks who are totally into that part of it, yeah, that might be a good deal to do it, and not waste time.
Hmm.
But like any convention, if you plan it out, once you see the schedules, if you plan it out, you can you can work around it. You might not get to see everything, but in one of these conventions where it's going 5 days, if you can't see everything in 5 days, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Now, there are going to be folks who,
I'm gonna die over here.
so if there are folks who are maybe they're only going 1 or 2 days, and I understand that, but if you're only doing 1 or 2 days, then you really need to plan as to what it is. You need to do an autograph session. That if that's if Mark Hamill is there and you want his autograph, well then you need to plan for that and figure that you're going to be in line for a while, and unless you get there early, in which case you'll just have to wait for the line to start, and you'll be able to move on afterwards. But that's the sacrifice you make. If you want to be the first in there to get something, you plan ahead, you get in there early, and try to be as far to the front of the line as you can.
Yeah. Which that's another thing with spending that much. It should just like come with getting autographs.
Yeah.
Not just getting in line, first and stuff like that. But me, I'm only gonna have enough money for getting an autograph from like Roger Smith or something like that, who played a Jawa in episode 2.
Yeah.
That's what I have budget for.
Well, in our Kentucky groups here, at the last celebration, we had a large prop display. So those of us who were a part of that, you get a little easier access to things. You get to meet some folks that you probably wouldn't normally meet or whatnot. And this time around, we might have 2 different sets.
Ooh.
That we're looking at working on. You don't know. I mean, you don't know what they're gonna want you to bring or not bring, or who they're gonna have.
Yeah.
And that's cool too, because that's part of the program. We're all planning the fact that we bought tickets. We're gonna be your average con goer and whatnot. And if by chance we get to display something instead, we will partake in that adventure as well.
So are you bringing the same set from last time too?
I can't say yet. So.
Okay.
It's just we have 2 different groups that had 2 different builds going, and we will see once what gets accepted. So what you don't know is these guys have a history with some folks over in Europe for a lot of large props. So if you see pictures from Celebration last year, you see that the full-scale TIE fighter, and you see some other really cool stuff that these other guys have made. So it also comes into play of, is that group actually already bringing something, and would that be doubling up with what we have? In which case,
that's true.
You don't know. But the plus side is, like I said, we got to meet a lot of people that you probably wouldn't normally have a chance to actually meet and talk to, and even a few of the celebrities, and stop by to see our set and do a couple quick pictures, and it's a neat thing to be on that side of it as well.
Yep.
Of course, the downside is we all miss the the trailer premiering and being shown in the big auditorium area, but you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, we look forward to seeing the 1-to-1 scale AT-AT.
There's one, right? All right, we have the half scale Scout Walker.
Yeah, that Scout Walker's cool.
Don't know if that'll be there. And then I had the privilege for the parade here. Before the Kentucky Derby, they have the Pegasus Parade the Thursday before the Kentucky Derby, and this year we actually had a replica tank, the Imperial assault tank from Rogue One. So we had a replica there, and I was lucky enough to ride in the commander position on that for the parade, which was just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some pictures online about that, and I'm like, yep, that looks really cool.
Yep. Well, a little shout out to Don West and his team who built that one. That it looks so cool, all finished up, and it'll be in a few other events for the remainder of the year here. So hopefully we'll have some more good pictures of that.
Yeah, I had to laugh though at the one picture that I think it was Tara that had taken it, but there was it looked like some other Muppet like bending over, and there's Cookie Monster were like right behind,
Yeah.
looking down, and I'm like,
Oh
what's
yeah.
he looking at?
Yeah, that one
He
was freaking
sure
hilarious.
seems
So,
happy.
yep, that was a good time.
Yeah, that just makes that parade more memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, speaking of Star Wars, um, well, I I should stick to my outline here.
Yep.
But yeah, we talked about tickets. You're going. I'm going. Sean is going. And Corey is not going.
Oh, Corey, boo, boo, Corey.
Yeah, I
How about
know.
Mr. Matt? Is Mr. Matt going?
Um, I'm, I haven't heard anything, and I'm presuming not because he will be living over in Dublin.
Ah,
So, yeah, I think today Julie and Alex were flying out.
okay.
So, I think Matt's probably already over there.
Well, it's unfortunate he'll miss it, but he's having
Uh,
fun in far off land.
so maybe if they have like Star Wars Celebration 2020 in Dublin, we're all staying at Matt's house.
All right. Sounds like a solid plan.
Doesn't that sound like a plan, Matt?
Yep.
Oh yeah, okay. Matt agrees.
Excellent.
Yeah, I asked Corey because I'm like, all of a sudden over the weekend, this past weekend, I'm on Facebook and I'm looking and it's like, Saturday tickets sold out. I'm like, oh crap! I know I like sent messages to Corey saying, tickets are available now. Go buy them. Go do this, and didn't hear anything back. So I'm like, okay, I saw this. I gotta call him. So I call him up, and he's like, yeah, I'm just not into it this time, and kind of getting all Star Warsed out, and the movies haven't been good. And I'm like, you're falling into the trap of the man babies, man.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, yeah, Corey, I'm gonna rip on you here. But I mean, he likes the movie when we go and view it, and doesn't say too much bad things about it, and then yeah, goes home and gets online and starts looking at chat boards and all this other stuff, and pretty soon he's coming back and he's complaining about this and that, and I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
So yeah, Corey won't be attending, but
All right.
Wes should be attending at least one day
Okay.
because I talked to him and he's like, oh yeah, I haven't gotten my tickets either. I'm like, well, Saturday you're SOL. Fortunately, I mean, he lives an hour and 15 minutes away from, the lake
Oh,
over there, so it's not too far.
easy little jaunt for him.
Yeah. Depending on traffic, of
Right.
course. But, yeah, so Sean and I will be staying at Wes's place.
All right, that's a good plan because hotels.
I know.
Most
Yeah,
of the
the
hotels
hotels.
and areas were already sold out.
Yeah.
I was lucky, got a room early on. But yeah, I don't know what was going on with the hotel reservations and how they were, supposedly had blocks rooms reserved, but you know, gone and not cheap,
Yeah.
not cheap at all.
And, I mean, your hotel, it's like connected,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about parking and stuff like that.
Well,
Whereas,
shouldn't say you don't have to worry about it because we're still getting charged parking apparently even at the hotel. But nonetheless,
yeah.
we can park and we're there, we're done.
But for me coming in each day, I'm like, here, how's parking gonna work for myself? I'm like, I'd better get a spot, but I do see that McCormick Place,
Yep.
it does have the 3 lots. They do have an option where you can spend $35 and you're guaranteed a spot. in a lot for that day.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know, Thursday I'm not expecting it to be totally crowded, so don't have to buy anything for Thursday. Monday, if I'm going there, I probably don't have to worry.
Right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Oh yeah.
probably.
And that $35 for what I understand for the area is probably a fair price for parking.
Yeah, because I mean, there's depending on which lot you're in, the price varies. It's like $15 or something like that in the cheapest one, and 25 in another. I'm like, I'd rather just be guaranteed and spend the 35.
Yep.
So, but I see that they don't have that as an option to purchase yet. So,
Keep watching for it.
yeah, I think the latest thing they have is on December 31st. So, yeah, just got to keep watching. And I would think that if I were in charge of this parking, that you would try to sell as many guaranteed spots as you can,
Yep.
just because you're making more that way.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. But then you have the logistics of, are you mailing these things out? How are you doing that? But this
Yeah.
is a professional convention center. They should be on top of that. It should not be an issue for them to handle it.
Yeah. I'm hoping most people kind of like panic and take the train and stuff instead. So there's more parking for the rest of us, but yeah, I would feel more comfortable paying the $35 a day and just doing it.
Yep.
So, anyways. Speaking of Star Wars, there was a Star Wars movie that came out just recently, I guess.
Was there? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We all should rush out and see it.
Yeah, people need to go see this movie because,
Yes.
dang it, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Um,
And I had that whole fear of and a lot of people saying, well, Last Jedi didn't meet expectations. Yet some people really hated it and whatnot. And I enjoyed the movie.
yep,
Obviously not my favorite, but I enjoyed it.
yep,
The problem you have is then you had people who were disgruntled and you're upset about Solo. That it's a movie where you weren't getting a lot of information on. They didn't actually start showing the trailer till like February. Um, you didn't have that same feel for it, and you didn't have that same fever pitch leading into it. And the worst part about it is a solid movie. It is actually
yeah.
very enjoyable.
I think so too. Um, yeah, one person I had to break down and start harassing a Facebook person because he's like, yeah, like a few other people, they're calling for Kathleen Kennedy to step down and stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, and he he ripped on her and said it was her fault that it was sandwiched in, it was back to back to back with Avengers and Deadpool, and I'm like, okay, first of all, Avengers was a full month before Solo came out.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, Deadpool
Well,
is
Deadpool moved his date up too.
that was moved up, and it's 20th Century Fox.
Yep.
I mean, it's not technically Disney, so they didn't have any control over that.
Right.
I'm like, plus, Lucasfilm is a production company. It's not the distributor. These people. I'm like, ugh.
I will say, in my opinion though, is I think that they actually have a very good thing going releasing Star Wars movies in December.
Yeah,
Um,
I gotta
can't
agree there.
can't explain other than the fact that with the timing, with the season, whatever it might be, they seem to have a better drive and better success with that time of year. And it is a little bit crowded this time of year with all the big blockbuster movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know. They said would it have done better if they would had moved it to a December showing. I think you had two problems there. Is that they started off early by saying it was going to be released in May. If you go ahead and push that out to December, now the opinion is that your movie is so bad that you're redoing everything again.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
you can't win in that scenario.
Yeah. I think plus if they Well, of course they're not having a celebration this year, but having your celebration like late spring and then having the movie, you know, a few months down the road, I think is a decent way to do it.
Hmm.
It builds the hype for it.
Right.
And you didn't really have a build up for this movie because everything was kind of built up last time for Last Jedi. So
Yep. And you still had people who
kind of
were,
stole its thunder.
yeah, and then like I said, you had such a blowback on certain parts of the Last Jedi that you still had disgruntled, like I said, you had disgruntled people still going on about it months later,
Oh
and
God,
that
yeah,
doesn't help you.
yeah. So yeah, I think I'd stick to December release dates.
Yeah, just run out there, if anybody from Lucasfilm or Disney is listening, just saying.
Yeah, maybe one of our 5 people.
Hey now, my goal is to get 15.
There we go. My gosh, it's been a while since we've had that.
See what we can do.
All right. Um. Yeah, and all the concerns about the movie. The actor that played Han Solo. I think he did a decent job.
Hmm.
Everyone was kind of worried about him, and I'm like, yeah, there were scenes where he seemed to nail it. You know, just nail that persona without trying.
Right.
Because you can tell if someone tries to nail a Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got to be difficult enough to try and impersonate Harrison Ford. He's got a style all to himself.
Yeah.
And that's just the way he is. But again, I thought they did a great, a very good job at that. I'm not gonna go so far as say great because I thought it was just very good. Because in comparison, when you look at, Lando Calrissian,
Uh
that
huh.
character was knocked out of the ballpark.
Yep.
I mean, I think good enough that if you wanted to make a Lando movie right now, you could get away with that.
Yeah, I know they were kind of talking about that as a
Hmm.
possibility, not necessarily official talking, but with the way that Solo was received, I don't know if that's even feasible now.
Well, it all depends on how you look at it. It's a matter of do you actually analyze what was happening, what caused it, or you just simply going by the pocketbook.
Yeah.
I like to think that the executives there for Lucasfilm and Disney are smart enough to actually say, okay, we've got actually a bigger picture going on here, and do we blame this one because it was received? The response has been very positive. It's getting a far better review than the Last Jedi got.
Hmm.
So how do you treat that then? You're saying you actually had a better movie. So what's actually causing the decline, and can we counteract that if we were to continue on and do another, of this part of the series?
Yeah, because now it's going to be Boba Fett next,
I'd still like
which.
to actually see them verify that. I know you're talking pre-production.
Hmm.
Um, I I'd like to actually see somebody with a more firm. Here's what we've got. I know they're resurrecting it because they had it 3 years ago before they fired the guy that was putting it together.
Mm.
But who's directing it? Who's writing it? What do you actually have to build off Boba Fett? And can you?
And if they do a Boba Fett movie, it's got to be after the events of Return of the Jedi. It's
One would
got to
hope
be.
so. Well, if you do the young Boba Fett.
I mean, there's already been so much with Clone Wars where he's been
Yep.
involved, and I mean
Hmm.
it's the same kind of thing with Obi Wan. Yeah, it'd be nice
Yeah.
to have an Obi Wan movie, but I think they've exhausted that in what they've already done in Clone Wars and the books, really. So
Well, you got two things going on there. For a young Boba Fett, you have the fact that you can do it where he is helping Vader hunt down Jedi. That might actually be well received because you're bringing Jedi back into the scene and you're whacking a few of them. So, I mean, that might be something that plays into the audience. If you do the post Return of the Jedi, where the premise is that he survived falling into the Sarlacc pit, now you're going to have certain people who fall enough the story to say, yeah, okay, I understand, got it. And you're going to have people like, how the hell? Was he just magically boom? He's Sarlacc proof? What is going on?
Yeah. Well,
I
I still think post Sarlacc is the way to go.
All right. Well, let's see if they move forward with that, which way they go. That'd be
Yeah.
it could be an interesting story.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see Deadpool 2?
Of course, I got a chance to see Deadpool.
All
What kind of question
right.
is that? You realize it wasn't for us,
Well,
there wouldn't
hey,
be a Deadpool in the first place.
you're you're a busy guy, you know. So.
Yeah, we make time for the Star Wars and the Deadpool.
All
Just the way
right.
that works. But yeah, I mean, in case folks don't remember that, a few years back when we were reviewing the short animated clip of Deadpool, and we did mention it on the Flamecast, and what was it, like a month later, all of a sudden they announced that they're making the movie.
Yeah, it was not an animated clip, but the little like self-made trailer that Ryan Reynolds put together.
Right. Well, that was the
That
but all the characters there were it was like a cartoon style. I mean, it was well done, but it was not live action.
what?
It wasn't. Now, mind you, they did that entire scene in the actual live action movie. But if you look at the what was
I don't
actually,
think it was animated.
it was. Look it up.
I don't know. I sure.
You're wrong, Todd.
No, I can't be.
All right,
No,
just making a note here. All right, June 13th. Todd was wrong. See, you can hear Todd typing. He's not looking it up.
Gosh,
Make
what
sure
would I?
Did you
Shoot.
find it? Did the Todd find it?
Not yet. There's too much to look through.
Just find what the original Deadpool promotional. Let's see what Todd's find. Oh, did we find it, Todd? Do I need to help you find it, Todd?
Deadpool test footage?
There you go.
So I think wasn't part of it. Well,
What?
if it's animated, it's like computer animated, not your like cartoon animated. I'll give you that.
Todd, you're trying to find a way out of the hole? You're in the hole, Todd.
No.
But, that was one where we actually, had talked about it in the Flamecast. And then, a month or 2 months later, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, they're actually doing it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, right. I laughed so hard watching that test footage.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, this is just awesome.
Yep.
But then, you get to the movie and it's like the same scene in there, and it's like, yeah, it's funny still, but it's not as funny as it could have been now.
All right.
Just because I laughed so hard the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's still good. And
so for Deadpool 2, which we were originally talking about,
yeah.
I actually, I mean, you're always concerned going into one of those is can you keep the same magic? Are you just rehashing old jokes? But I was actually quite impressed. I enjoyed Deadpool 2. I thought they had some really hilarious content to it.
Oh yeah.
A lot of gore. I mean, a little bit of sitting on the couch without your pants on. A little of that going on there.
Sitting on the couch wearing Cerebro. And...
yeah, there's that too.
Smells like Patrick Stewart. And then And then the X-Force,
Oh yes.
the parachuting scene.
And
Oh my
obviously you don't want to
gosh!
spoil it for folks who may not have seen it yet, but that
Right.
totally did not go the way I thought it would. That went the
Yeah.
complete opposite way.
Yep.
And as it was happening, you're just like, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah,
um,
that was great.
but
Uh,
what I really like about it is the cameos that happened in that movie. So you have Brad Pitt on there. So his reveal is during the parachuting scene.
yeah.
But then you also had Matt Damon and Alan Tudyk are in the movie, and they do such a great job of their makeup in that one that you don't recognize it until you're told, and you look at the scene, then you can see them. But let's put it this way: they are um, two redneck guys in a pickup truck. But that is Matt
Ah,
Matt Damon and Alan Tudyk in that scene.
awesome. Yeah, I should almost go a second time and catch up on some of that stuff.
Yeah, 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 they did a good job with that movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. Again, two thumbs up.
Two thumbs up.
Then we got. Well, the kids want to go see Incredibles 2 on Friday.
I actually want to go see that as well. I enjoyed the first one, and
Oh
if
yeah.
they got the same magic for the second one, I'm all for it.
Yep. Um. Gosh, and then a week later we've got Jurassic World, which
Yeah, yeah.
I mean that first trailer was kind of like meh, and the second trailer kind of had some more story to it.
hmm And then word of mouth is that it's actually a bit scary. So we'll see.
Oh, that'll be good. Because what was it? Savannah was saying that she watched some scary movie the other day, and then I'm like, "Oh, did you have nightmares?" And just kind of joking, and she's like, "No, but I had a nightmare about dinosaur almost eating me." I'm like,
Oh God.
"Oh, so we're gonna go to Jurassic World
Oh,
then, huh?"
yeah. There's definitely a scene in there that's not going to end well.
uh, yeah, I'll go see that one, and then geez, 4th of July weekend, we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, another one I'm looking forward to, especially since that one is going to kind of open up the door to explain how they're going to fix what Thanos did in the Infinity War.
Yeah, I'm presuming this takes place after the snap.
No, actually, no. Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place before Infinity War.
Okay.
It'll lead up, and apparently, it'll end on leading into the Infinity War, I believe, or at least leading into the end of the Infinity War.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And then all we've got left is Captain Marvel, and that's not going to happen until October.
No, it's next spring, like February maybe.
Is
I
it?
believe. Yeah, it's like very early next year, kind of like Black Panther
Gosh, I
release
could have
date.
sworn that was earlier than that.
Nope. Nope, because this fall is Venom.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Um, check my calendar because I put all these on my calendar. So yeah, we've got Venom on October 5th. I don't know, is that X-Men Dark Phoenix movie still happening?
Yes, it
Early
is.
November?
It's funny you should mention that, but yes, it is because they shot a scene for Deadpool 2.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. We
But
won't
yes,
give that away, but
no, we won't.
yeah.
Yes, the Dark Phoenix is happening.
Yeah, I had to laugh at that. Um, let's see, X-Men: The New Mutants in February of next year. Captain Marvel, March 8th. Yep.
Okay.
So you are correct. Um, yeah, that's too long to wait. Damn it.
It's the way it goes.
Because then it's May 3rd, I believe, that we get the next installment of the Avengers.
Correct.
Uh, that's too long to wait. You know, some of these
Yeah.
people have to come back because they got movies in the works.
Correct. Yep. I mean, that's obviously one giveaway on that part of it there, but I believe what it's going to be is what's the sacrifice made to bring them back.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy really took a hit, man. All
Oh
that's
yeah.
left is
Oh my.
Rocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
So depressing for a raccoon that we had a raccoon in downtown St. Paul last night.
I saw it climb.
Climbed a 20-story building. We're like,
Poor little
don't
guy.
jump, don't
I
jump.
did. I didn't actually see once. Did they? Were they able to go and save him?
Yeah, the thing actually went over onto the roof at about 2, 3 a.m. somewhere in there, and they lured it in with cat food into a trap. So
Mm.
they got it trapped up there and released back into the wild, I presume. So
Wow.
not on some St. Paul street, I hope.
Yeah.
So that pretty much sums up our movies for the last month.
Hmm. Good
Um,
choices they were.
yep. Um, yeah, that was another thing I had to bring up was that you know, some of these, I don't know how much it really affected it, but with the change in terms of service for Movie Pass, I wonder how much of an effect that had on ticket sales for some of these movies that came out after.
Well, it's that's hard to say because I don't know how widespread that movie pass really was or being used. I mean, yeah, the claim of a lot of people doing it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know the real effects with that. And the flip side is, it's if you're somebody who has seen it multiple times, that wasn't racking up the revenue for the movie. Um,
Uh,
but I would have thought the numbers would have related in actual ticket sales because the movie pass was still paying a price
right,
for them. So I don't know. I think you had for Solo you had the whole Memorial Weekend and the weather was pretty nice. So I mean I know a lot of people who are just out doing outdoorsy stuff that weekend.
right, right. I mean, I didn't get my second viewing in until this past weekend, so.
Yep.
Because, yeah, even Rachel's like, how come you haven't seen this one as many times as you have The Last Jedi? And I'm like,
I kept seeing the other one for free. Yeah.
damn, movie pass. But, yeah, so. On the other end, well, looking at the small screen, I've been doing some viewing. I actually finished up on Jessica Jones, started it, finished it up. It was okay. Eh,
Yeah, I think I've got like the final couple episodes I got to watch on that to finish that off.
yeah. I think they could have done better with that.
Yeah.
Trish is just annoying to me, anyways. I'm like, come on, lady. But otherwise, it was all right. I did go through all of Lost in Space, which I was impressed with. I did like Lost in Space.
I'm on the second episode of that one, and I'm kind of meh so far.
Yeah, it starts out kind of meh, but I think overall it's a decent series.
Okay.
So we'll talk again when you finished it all.
All right.
And then after what 25 years, I am finally going through all of the X-Files. So I mean I have watched the last two seasons.
Okay.
You know, one that came out this year and the previous year. But back then, like early '90s, I was working evenings, still going to college, and all of my, yes, we used videotapes back then, but all my videotapes were um, basically relegated to taping Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and eventually Star Trek Voyager as well. I'm like, I
Right.
don't have enough tapes for this stuff. So, you had to pick your poison back then. Because I
Yep.
would have watched, like, Babylon 5 as well, but
Right.
that's another series I still haven't watched all the way through. I need to watch that at some point.
I watched a couple of that one. That was one I just could not
Fall
get
asleep.
into. So yeah,
Oh.
just yeah.
See, I did start watching it. Um, it was when Shelby was a baby, and she would wake up at like 5 a.m. and want to get fed. And so I'd get up, make a bottle, feed her, sitting there on the couch. I'm like, oh, flip on TV and see what's happening. And I find Babylon 5 on there. And so, yeah, she started making a habit out of waking up at about 5 a.m. So I started watching it for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden she started sleeping all through the night, and I never saw another Babylon 5 episode since. Oh. So yeah, I'll have to return to that sometime. But I gotta get through, what, 11 seasons of X Files, is it?
Yeah.
Something like that. I think I've got something like 195 episodes to go. So yeah,
That's
I got
that's a
some
few.
catching up. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple to go on there.
So what has Travis been watching, or haven't you been able to watch anything?
I haven't watched a whole lot. However, I made sure the Flash.
Oh
Made sure
yeah,
I stayed up on that one because I really enjoy that series. I think they did an excellent job casting, and the stories have been great. So I stayed on top of the Flash. Big Bang Theory. I don't know if you
okay,
actually watched that, but
yep,
the season finale, which had Mark Hamill and Will Wheaton on it,
oh
was
yeah,
pretty hilarious. And then I top it off with what's one of my favorites is the Goldbergs.
ah
And
yeah,
I don't know how many of you folks have ever watched the Goldbergs, but basically it's based on Adam Goldberg and his family and how they lived in the 80s, which is what Todd and I grew up
yeah,
in. And I mean, it's just hilarious all the things that that they find in that show and bring out in that show that bring back great memories. But they've done an interesting thing this season, and it's like the second half of the season where they kind of like in the during the end bit, they usually have a little clip, whatever, and they're actually showing the actors interacting with the adult versions of themselves,
yes, yes,
and that has just been hilarious watching some of that interaction and realizing that how many of those folks of the that were his original friends or people he interacted with, they bring them back in for that episode, playing an adult character that's not a main part of the story, but actually have them involved in the episode, which
right,
is even better.
right, yeah.
But that one is one ended up they had a it wasn't the last one, the second to last one. They had a Spaceballs episode.
Oh, that's right.
And what was great about that is you have Rick Moranis, who retired, from acting many years ago, and he pointed out that he goes, he has enough money, he's now doing Family Time,
Yeah,
and people have tried to get him out for various things, and he just doesn't do it. Well, Adam Goldberg managed to talk him into coming back to do a voice cameo. He was not the actual character, but at the end they had Lord Helmet from Spaceballs, and Rick Moranis did the voiceover for the
yeah,
character. And to me that was just hilarious that you got Rick Moranis to do that for you. I mean, what does that say about the quality of your program?
yeah,
That was phenomenal.
yeah. I enjoy that one too. I got the kids kind of hooked on that one because I think you had suggested it to me
Could be
way
correct
back
on that.
when,
Yes, yes.
and yeah, I ended up, you know, not really binge watching it, but getting caught up to speed anyways, and yeah, I totally enjoyed it, and I gotta say that Beverly Goldberg is a lot like Rachel.
Oh, does she have the bedazzled sweaters?
Well, not really with the the dressing up
Mm,
kind of thing, but with the
the smother.
yeah, you know, for example, okay, back in what April, May, and it was going to be Shelby's last choir concert, and she had done a solo for competition for choir, and Rachel kept saying, "No, you should do that for the spring concert as well." And supposedly Shelby totally missed out on the day to say that I wanted to do this. So it was like the week of the concert, and Shelby's like, "Oh, I guess I missed it. I thought I told them, but it's not happening." Yeah, Rachel pulled a Beverly, and
Oh wow,
and Shelby ended up giving her solo in the concert.
that's awesome.
That was like the first thing I thought of. I'm like, oh geez, here she goes again.
Oh god. Well, the best part about the character with Beverly in the show is that the way I understood it is all those sweaters that you see her wearing are actually from storage from the
Oh
real mom.
jeez.
That the real mom had saved all these things. So these are all real vintage sweaters that they are wearing through the different episodes. And I'm like, okay, that's just awesome and yet scary all at once. But it explains so many things.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh jeez. Yeah, didn't they have at the end of the one episode where she had the jacket with all
Yeah.
the bejeweled stuff on? It was the actual jacket that they showed at the end. Oh God.
Oh man. It
Yeah.
hurts. It hurts a little on the inside. It does.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yes, I agree with all your choices. You've been watching TV wisely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. When you have limited time, you have to choose. You got to pick and choose.
Yeah. Um, one thing I have been wondering though, have you been watching? Um, oh shoot, what is it? The
Agents of Shield. Yes,
Agents of Shield.
yes, I did. I also watched that one.
Um, because that I gotta say I haven't watched any of it, but I don't suppose they've gotten up to the point where the thing happens,
So
have they?
they did a little differently. They ended it without that part of it interfering with what they were doing. However, they were still doing a part of it because there was some activity that was based on trying to create somebody or one character trying to become powerful enough that he could defeat Thanos. So they were aware of the Thanos invasion coming. There were other things going on, so they were not at all in working with the Avengers or the government on that side, or whatever. They're doing their own thing, but they were aware of the impending Thanos invasion.
Okay. Yeah, it'll just be interesting next year. All this stuff that
Well, next year
happens as a
for
result.
Agents of Shield, next year is only like a half season.
Ooh,
So instead of the normal 26, I think they're only doing 13 episodes, whatever it is.
interesting.
So yeah, that I'm not sure if that's gonna be their final season, or are they just trying to play it off until the next, or until Avengers 4 takes care of everything.
Uh, yeah, maybe there's only so much they can do.
Yep.
Or, I mean, are the ratings still up there?
I would hope so. I mean, it's been pretty good.
Okay. Maybe after I get done with X Files and Babylon 5,
You'll add that
I'll
to your
get
list.
to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
All
It
right.
is in my Netflix queue. I
Mm,
gotta say, it's in there. I just haven't gotten to it.
all right. Have you watched The Flash?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
stay
All
up
right.
to date on that one.
All
And
right.
Supergirl and Green Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow. I stay on top of those all the time. So.
All right, good man.
Yep. All right. Well, we should probably do the fan film of the month.
Woo!
So this time, I ended up seeing this one, and I'm like, yeah, it's using footage actually from the movies, but it's still pretty good. You just gotta use it because it's all voiced over.
Yeah.
It's Kylo Ren reviews Solo, a Star Wars story. It is just hilarious.
I'm a big fan of Kylo Ren reviewing movies. I really am.
And it's so funny this time because he's reviewing a movie that his father is in, so yeah, you get that extra level of contempt. It's just great stuff. We'll have the link, of course, out there, along with doing the posting and stuff. But yeah, go and check that out. Kylo Ren reviews Solo. And let's do a Kenner Star Wars commercial.
It's the Star Wars electronic laser battle game. Battery not included.
It's set to Sonic Speed 3.
Ready? Go! You can play it alone or with a friend. If you hit your buttons first, you move yourself forward. Or your opponent backward. But if you jump the signal, it's a flash ahead for the other guy. First to light up Death Star wins.
Yay! I win!
The Star Wars electronic laser battle game. It's a game with lights and sounds. New from Kenner's Star Wars collection.
And we're back. Let's just move on to the next topic.
All right.
So, upcoming projects. I've been talking about this for like years, and I'm like, I got to get this thing done.
Get her done, Todd.
Way back when, I had a link for Flamecast Theater on the website, and just never got around to doing anything. I've got a script. It needs some retooling now because it's not going to be live action. It's going to be an audio story. But yeah, based on that change, I need to make a few alterations. But I just really need to get that done. So.
All right. Well, now you have your project for the summer.
Yeah, as soon as this graduation stuff is done,
There you go. Good call.
We can get to that. I would also like to go and redo the commercial for Kraft Foods. And I don't know if you've seen this one.
I don't think I have.
It is out there under the Flaming Death Productions YouTube site.
Okay.
This is actually... let me give you some backstory on this. Let's see. It was a group of like 4 of us in the old neighborhood in Fairmont. We had myself, my younger brother Ryan, and then my friend Bill Maurice and his younger brother Kevin. And we had a club going, and we decided that, well, we were really big fans of SCTV. And we decided we were going to make our own SCTV movie, utilizing a camera that we got through my dad, because they had a camera for the construction company there. And basically, being the vice president, he could just take equipment whenever he wanted. So we wanted to make a movie. Hey, we got the camera for a week, you know. Oh my gosh, that camera was like 20 pounds at least.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, we filmed actually some scenes. We did all of our Great White North stuff. We did a Mayor Tommy Shanks skit. What else did we do? Seems like there's one other thing. But then, last but not least, we did this idea of Bill's being Kraft Foods. And it's basically a commercial that is introducing Kraft products instead of craft, we're using graft. And he's building a sandwich on screen, and he keeps adding and adding. He's adding things like molasses, a raw egg, just loads of crap on there, and it's like triple decker and maybe even quadruple decker. And then at the end, he picks it up and it's like barely holding together, and he's like, "Good eating. Thank you for your support." And he drops it, and it's just like splat. And I'm like, I mean, even when I watch it now, it just brings tears to my eyes because I'm just laughing so hard. And you can hear the the filming crew in the background during parts of this where they're like, yuck, and stuff like that, where it's like, shut up on set, But of course, you don't hear that part. You just hear the reactions. But I'm just like, ah. So this is one of the ideas I thought would be a good film for next year's Pine Island Film Festival. Because as I'm watching these other movies, the kid that was the winner of the 12 and under group, actually had a little cooking film, and I'm like, we've done one of those and we did a lot better. And I'm not gonna reuse the exact same film, but I'm like, I can do something totally similar to what we did back in 1985 or whatever it was, and recreate that, and I think that would go over well. So at some point I'm going to redo that one, call it Graft Foods Reimagined.
Alright. Well, hopefully that comes out to be magnificent.
It'd be great if I could actually get a hold of Bill and actually have him be the person in front of the camera this time. But I haven't seen him in years, so kind of lost touch there. But one way or another, we'll try to get it done. And as you may have noticed, I know you've noticed because you've given me items. Yeah, I started playing Star Wars The Old Republic, and I don't think I've played a day of Lord of the Rings Online since I've started playing.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, this is actually a decent game. I kind of got hooked.
Yep.
And of course I'm doing the, free to play, so some of my things are a little bit limited, but gosh, there was late last week I was like kind of hoping that I'd see you online, because I'm like, I'm stuck on Coruscant and I gotta get off planet and I can't figure out how to get to where I need to go. Because I ended up, what was it? I ended up doing one of the dailies, and then just kind of kept doing the dailies. Right. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta get back to the overall story arc, which is still take a shuttle to Coruscant. I'm like, I'm already there, so I guess I need to go back and go back over again.
To your starter planet and take the shuttle there.
Yeah, well, I ended up going to the fleet, and I didn't have to go back any further than that. Okay. So,
well, that's good.
So I got it figured out. I'm like, ugh. That one I actually had to Google. I'm like, what do I do? And there was like, someone was like, well, you've got the option of, returning to fleet and returning to, a last, or not a last, but, certain locations.
Right.
Checkpoints and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I can deal with that. And then it got better. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I don't need Travis now. But it's been fun.
Good game, and I mean, I haven't got to play much in a long time, but I enjoyed it, and obviously when there were more people playing, it was even better. But it's, like I said, especially for what you can do, with a free to play, you can still play the game.
Yeah, yeah. So
People are nice to you; they'll give you free things. Just saying.
yeah, yeah. I'm like level 24, 25, somewhere in there.
That's pretty good.
And I've got about that much in thousands of credits too.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to stick to my guns on not actually using real money to purchase anything. So
Right. I think the only difference is the way it used to be set up. Even if you're free to play, if you just spent like $5 one time in the market for whatever, um, you then get that next tier of free to play. It's not a monthly fee or whatever, but you buy something at one time and it like triggers another level. Like you can have more credits, you can have more bank space or something. I don't remember what it all is, but
interesting.
something to think about.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to look that up. All right, and then yeah, I've been getting emails about Atari and their VCS system.
Yeah, I think I've seen one email that I've gotten.
Yeah, they've got like two different versions of this thing. One's like the wood grain, and I think that's the spendier version.
Oh yeah, because it looks like the old one.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd want to spend more and have something look like it came from the 70s? Sure.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I've got one of the Atari flashback consoles, and I'm like, I guess I'm good for now.
Yeah, the nostalgia wears off pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, I can go back and play some of the games I had, and although some games I'm sure it's due to licensing restrictions, but you just can't play some of those games anymore.
Yeah.
Unless you have the original cartridge and original Atari.
Yeah.
Which I have because I have Corys.
Oh, hey. That's worth some coin, just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the joy of playing the old Atari was always the Activision games because they had better graphics.
Yeah.
And more interesting games overall. And yeah, I ended up buying some games like quite a while back, maybe 15 years ago. And one of them that I bought, which I used to have with my original Atari, was Pitfall 2. And yeah, somewhere along the lines, this cartridge I have for Pitfall 2 decided to just crap out on me. So I haven't been able to play that one for quite a while. But I think there's a website out there that allows you to play some of these games.
Right.
And I think I did play it there. But yeah, it's just not the same, I suppose I could move my computer over and hook it up to the TV and try to get that feel. But yeah, nothing like having that Atari joystick,
Just saying.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess I don't need to get one at this point. It'd be nice to have, but
yeah, I'm said my free time is limited the way it is, and we got a celebration next year, so hey, we're gonna spend money, spend it towards that.
Yeah. Yep, I'm gonna have to sell more of my paid time off for next year. Yep, I got my tickets, and now I gotta save up for parking and toll booths and food, and yeah, at least I don't have to pay for hotels.
There you go.
All right. Well, back on the subject of Star Wars. You probably heard about it. A lot of news about this past week, but the whole Kelly Marie Tran thing. Just kind of giving up on social media, or at least her Instagram. I don't know if she had really anything else, but
yeah, I think that was only like public thing that she had going
Yeah.
on. But and for folks who aren't aware of it, so Kelly Marie Tran was in The Last Jedi, who played Rose, and you had folks who didn't like the character and whatnot. Okay, great. You don't like a character, you don't like a character, but you had a group of individuals who went after her on social media, calling her names, um, saying some pretty hurtful and mean things, and they were very persistent on it. And you have folks who are talking about the fact that Star Wars fans are toxic and whatever like that. You got to point out it's a small group of people who are doing this because they have alternate agendas and whatnot, and they're making their entire goal is to make it so uncomfortable for these stars that people they think then that Disney / Lucasfilm will change course and you know make movies the way they quote unquote think they should be made. And to me, it's pathetic. It really is.
Yep.
You don't like a movie, don't see it, don't spend your money on it. Go that route. You don't need to go after a specific actor, especially going after the female actors. Trying to be that harsh on it, because most of these actors, if you have the chance to meet them in public, are wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that about the folks you have with the Star Wars franchises. These actors go out of their way to do a lot of special things for their fans. They don't deserve crap like that.
I mean, just seeing what I've seen of her, like, outside of her role, she seems like an awesome person to get to know and hang out with. And
Yeah.
I just don't know where to go from here.
Simple. I hope that there's enough of an investigation. Whenever is, I hate to say it this way, but some of what they did could qualify as a hate crime, and you need somebody to go after them and make an example out of those people.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping that she is at one of the panels at Celebration Chicago, and she gets a frickin' standing ovation.
Oh, if she is at Celebration, she's going to get that virtually wherever she goes.
Yeah. Because she deserves it.
Yep.
I don't care if people think that, that part of the story was pointless and all this. I'm like, there was a point to it, people. You just can't see it.
Yep. And even if the case is that you didn't like it, fine. Again, back to the point of, fine, you don't like it, then don't like it. But you don't go after, a specific actress or actor because of that.
Yeah. I know some people I know, they're like, they hate all the social justice warrior type stuff. And I'm like, she liked animals.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to protect animals.
Yeah.
Is that a crime? My God. So, I don't know. Some people just need to kind of grow up, I guess.
You need a whooping.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, we're kind of rooting for her over here.
Yep. So
in our neck of the woods.
A little shout out, for folks. Don't be an ass.
That's right. All right. On that note, I think we've met our quota here for.
Yes, we've covered your gigantic list.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll edit down a little bit. I don't know. Nonetheless, it was a wonderful discussion. I thank you for having me again.
Yeah, thank you for being available this time.
Not a problem.
Been awesome.
It's a little tight. It was a long day at work, but it's try to fit these in when I can, and I hadn't been in there for a while, so figured that, Todd, you've worked hard enough to deserve it today.
Well, thank you very much. I deserve a break today at McDonald's.
There you go.
All right. On that note, that has been Flamecast for this month. So, this is Todd Pletz.
And this was Travis Buckmeyer.
And that is a wrap.